National House of Traditional and Khoi-San leaders, Kgosi Thabo Seatlholo, Deputy Chair of the National House of Traditional and Khoi-San leadership, Kgosi Langa Mavuso, Chairperson of the Northwest House of Traditional and Khoi-San leaders, Kgosi Thari Maotwe, Deputy Chairperson Kgosi Muifi Mabalane, Khuduthamaga ya ntlo ya dikgosi mo porofenseng ya rona ya Northwest. All our traditional leaders from other provinces, the leadership of Contra-Lesa, nationally led by Ntate Mokoena, dikgosi tsa rona tse tsotlhe tse di tlotlegang, all our Chapter 9 institutions present here today, Judge President Hendricks of our High Court, Speaker of the Northwest Provincial Legislature, Dr. Sebonda Samashone Desbo Mohono, members of the Northwest Provincial Executive Council present, MEC Oageng, Molapisi, Lemme, Bitsa, Lenkopane, the Northwest Chairperson of the South African Local Government Association, who is also the Executive Mayor of Ngaka Mudiri Molema Municipality, Councillor Khumalo Molefe, Executive Mayor of Mahikeng, Councillor Tsepiso Mpetlo, all mayors, speakers, and councillors present here today, all senior government officials, HODs, in particular HOD Dr. Bole, who are present here today, all our faith-based organizations, organized business, organized labor, our own University of the Northwest delegation, distinguished guests, all protocol observed, Bagaitso Dumelang. Dumelang Bagaitso. Ke a leboga. Modulasetulo, I'm honored and privileged to be addressing this important occasion which marks the official opening of the Northwest House of Traditional and Khoi-San leaders for the year 2025. The opening of this house coincides with a very important month in the calendar of our democratic dispensation. The Human Rights Month, which is commemorated in March, serves as a reminder to all the people of this country and our beloved province about the sacrifices endured by our forebears in the attainment of democracy in our country. During this period, we remember all those heroes and heroines of our beautiful province and our countries with unwavering commitment and courageous acts incentivize the cause for liberation. We take this opportunity to evoke the spirit of Telisho Molema and Matakong Kodumela Kepadisa, who dismantled the apartheid, the African war machinery through sabotage and reconnaissance during the siege of Kgosi Janki, Kgosi Mutibi, Kgosi Galeshewe, Kgosi To, assassination and imprisonment on Robben Island by the colonial apartheid administration. Lobatla Gopane, Moshan, riddled with poverty, inequality, and underdevelopment. Our province had to grapple with unfavorable weather conditions which continue to threaten the livelihoods of our people, particularly in rural and farming communities. Of critical concern is the unemployment rate, which is currently hovering around 52%, the highest in the country. All these challenges require all of us to work together to overcome the injustice meted on our people by an unjust past. Similarly, we need to confront the scourge of poverty, unemployment, and climate change with renewed sense of hope and vigor. During the State of the Nation address and the opening of the National House of Traditional and Khoi-San leaders, President Ramaphosa reiterated the commitment of government to work with the House to build our communities by fostering growth and development through shared values, vision, and objectives. This is encapsulated in the Medium-Term Development Plan, what is normally called MTDP 2025-2030, which is centered on 3 priorities. Number 1, we must drive an inclusive growth and job creation. 2, we have to reduce poverty and tackle the high cost of living. 3, we must build a capable, ethical, and developmental state. As we forge ahead with these objectives, we urge you to traverse this journey with us in responding to a number of challenges afflicting our communities. In the provincial policy statement I tabled in the past few weeks, I made mention of various measures we are implementing to build houses. Number 1, related to building of houses for our people, to start constructing roads that link, in particular, our rural communities with the provincial economic hubs, construction of water and sanitation projects to ensure adequate provisioning of these services, in particular in our rural communities, and as well as creation jobs in the process. True to the commitment I made during the State of the Province, we have successfully launched the Provincial Agri-Hub in collaboration with the University of the Northwest. The primary objective of this program is to assist our emerging farmers in our rural communities with commodities such as production of soya beans, beef, goat, sorghum, lucerne, and groundnuts, and other related products. Following this launch, I had a discussion with the MEC for Agriculture and Rural Development, MEC Sambat, to develop a framework that will assist government to initiate what is called Tsimuya Pacha through the Agri-Hub to reduce poverty and hunger in our communities. I will be rolling out a program to come to all our chiefs to outline, in particular, traditional councils, what is that this MEC will be doing in this program called Tsimuya Pacha. That is intended to fight poverty in our rural areas. A full detailed also implementation plan regarding this initiative will be shared with the House in due course. The Kgosi, working in glove or hand in glove with the Department of Labor and Employment, we recently also launched what is called a labor activation plan, at a cost of 700 million rand. So we have put aside this money. This program is primarily aimed at creating 27,000 work opportunities for young people across the length and breadth of our province. The program has been launched. What is left is recruitment of 27,000 young people for different activities related to SMME development and skills development. I have no doubt that the recruitment will also include the youth in our communities under your stewardship of our traditional leadership. As you may be aware, since the dawn of democracy, the provincial government came up with several means of support to enable traditional leadership structures to execute functions assigned to them by law. The provincial government has taken a conscious decision to consolidate all different kinds of support to the institution into one policy, which, with inclusion of the new ones, should a need arise. The said policy will include, but not limited to, financial support to the House and our traditional leadership in the form of grants, provisioning of vehicles for official use, subsidization of salaries of own traditional councils employees, secondment of public servants, funeral assistance, inauguration of the Kgosi, construction and maintenance of traditional council offices, provisioning of tools of trade like laptops and so on, as well as allocation of cell phones. House Chair, we have requested the Department of Public Works and Roads to conduct an assessment cost of maintenance of all our traditional council offices, and once this has been done, work will start with earnest. To this end, we ended the last batch of vehicles bought for the Kgosi to enable them to execute their statutory and customary duties. This is an ongoing process. Moreover, work is currently underway by the Department of Traditional Affairs and Public Service and Administration to formulate a generic organizational structure for traditional councils to perform their duties in a seamless and adequate manner. This will include an increment of administrative grants from 30,000 to 100,000, which is primarily aimed at seeing to the full realization of the work done by our councils. House Chair, since taking office, we have been inundated with deluge of traditional leadership disputes and claims. However, after careful consideration, it became clear that the majority, if not all disputes and claims, were dealt with by previous administration. Therefore, I have instructed the Department of Cooperative and Traditional Affairs to build a database of all disputes and claims processed by the previous administration, to avoid this thing that when there is a new premier, somebody who has lost the case then comes and wants to restart the process. We are also in the process, Chair, of developing a protocol on traditional leadership disputes, as some of the cases are capable of being resolved by royal families and the House. So these protocols are being developed so that the House must play a critical role in resolving all these traditional and leadership disputes. Therefore, on the basis of the strength of that decision, it is our intention to capacitate the royal families and the House to handle all the disputes. So the House and the royal families will be capacitated to be able to deal with all disputes related to traditional leadership. However, moreover, both the provincial house and the local houses of traditional leaders need to be strengthened to perform these functions as assigned to them. They must, in carrying that duty, have proper offices. They must have adequate staff. They must also have a budget. So my approach is a total renewed process of how we relate and how do we support. This, amongst others, include also how do we handle our fleet management process. I believe that the current one is not sustainable. The current one that we have is subject to abuse and it's not empowering. And therefore, a reviewed process on fleet management will be introduced. At my meeting with the Executive Committee of the Provincial House of Traditional Leaders, I have requested them to benchmark with other provinces regarding resourcing and staffing. House Chair, we dip also our heads in shame as we continue to experience a mounting number of deaths of initiates due to bogus schools. We are appealing to our Kgosis and municipalities to give a hand in combating this unfortunate state of affairs. Initiation schools continue to be commercialized and held without following due process of the law. We are calling also on the parents to desist from sending their children to fly-by-night initiation schools and take their kids to properly organized schools that are overseen by the house and our local traditional leadership. We also call on the South African Police Service to work hand in glove with the Provincial Initiation Coordinating Committee in enforcing the provision of the Customary Initiation Act number 2 of 2021. We trust that all police stations are in possession of the National Commissioner's letter that call on them to give a hand in initiation schools and any other related case. In conclusion, Chair, I would like to take this opportunity and send my heartfelt condolences to Kgosi Kwena Maotwe Bomanyan royal family during this difficult period of mourning following the death of Mokgosi Rosemary Maotwe due to illness. Ke a leboga Kgosi mo pulong e ya ntlo ya rona ya ngwaga wa